never starts with words. It starts with a feeling. The way they look at your sibling a little differently. The way their voice softens for them but not for you. And you realize, even as a kid, that love doesn't always feel equal, even when it's supposed to. No one ever says you're the least favorite, but you feel it. You feel it in the air that tightens a little when you speak. You feel it when your siblings' mistakes are just a phase, but yours are disappointments. You feel it when your success earns polite nods while theirs earns celebration. There's this quiet pattern that forms over time. Family gatherings where your stories fade into the background. Phone calls that never come for you. A parent's attention that always seems to drift somewhere else. And even as an adult, that feeling doesn't fade. You see them light up when they talk about your brother. Hear the affection in their voice when they mention your sister's kids. And you try not to care. But there's this small, familiar sting that says you're not their favorite. And you never were. You grow up thinking love is something that needs to be balanced, measured, earned. And when it isn't, your mind quietly decides there must be a reason. You start to wonder what makes you harder to love. Maybe I'm not easy enough. Maybe I'm not fun enough. Maybe I just take up too much space. And when you catch someone else noticing, a partner, a friend, who gently points out that your parents treat you differently, you laugh it off. But deep down, you feel exposed, because now it isn't just a thought in your head, it's something the world can see. At school, it shows in small ways. You can go quiet, afraid to say the wrong thing, or you work too hard chasing approval in grades instead of love. You follow rules, help teachers, blend in. On the surface, you seem fine, but underneath, you're measuring your worth through every reaction. Psychologists call this externalized self-esteem, when confidence rises and falls entirely on feedback. So even small criticism cuts deep. Studies show that over 80% of adults recognize favoritism in their family growing up. So it's not rare, but it feels rare, because no one talks about it. It's one of those wounds families wrap in silence. Chronic childhood favoritism and emotional neglect are linked to higher rates of anxiety disorders, depression, and complex trauma symptoms in adulthood. Some develop obsessive patterns, perfectionism, over-control, burnout. Others drift toward dissociation or emotional numbness. Carl Jung believed that every parent lives with an unlived life, their own unresolved pain, regret, or limitation, and that this often gets projected onto their children. So, favoritism at its root may have little to do with the child at all. A parent might favor the child who reflects their better self, and withdraw from the one who mirrors what they fear or deny. The least favored child often becomes the emotional mirror for everything the parent couldn't face within themselves. When you're the least favored, you learn early that love has rules. Smile more, don't argue, stay useful. You shape yourself around what they seem to like, hoping one day they'll look at you and finally see you the way they see the others. But that day never really comes, and the more you try, the more invisible you feel. So you learn, love is conditional. If I'm not chosen, maybe I can change. Maybe I can become the kind of person they'd want to love. That's how it begins, the quiet rewriting of your story. Love stops being something you deserve and becomes something you audition for. Every gesture, every achievement, every silence starts to carry the same question underneath. Did that make me a little more lovable? Psychologists call this conditional self-worth. After years of earning affection through achievement or compliance, you begin to link love to effort. You feel safest when you're doing, fixing, helping, producing, because stillness was never rewarded. Neuroscience shows that this chronic striving keeps your stress hormones active even when nothing's wrong. Your body, just like your heart, doesn't fully believe you're safe unless you're performing. Your brain releases stress hormones even at the smallest signs of disconnection. Over time, that vigilance becomes exhausting. The mind starts to believe that love isn't a state, it's a task, and every time you feel unseen, it confirms an old belief that you're somehow less worthy. less wanted, less enough. Underneath this is a psychological mechanism called schema formation. Schemas are deep mental frameworks, beliefs formed in early experiences that shape how you interpret the world. The least favored child often develops what's known as a defectiveness schema, a quiet conviction that something about me is wrong. Even when logic says otherwise, the emotional brain still searches for evidence to confirm it. This is why simple moments, being left out of a group chat, not getting a reply, being overlooked in conversation, can sting more than they should. The wound doesn't live in logic, it lives in memory. Over time, the yearning becomes unbearable. You find yourself rehearsing imaginary conversations. The ones where they finally admit they love you equally. The ones where they apologize for not noticing your pain. But they never happen. And that's where the second wound appears, the fight with reality, because the mind keeps whispering, it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't hurt to be their child. It shouldn't feel like you have to earn what should have been freely given. This is called cognitive dissonance, the tension between two opposing truths. I am worthy of love, and I am not treated as if I am. And when that dissonance lasts for years, your mind finds a way to close the gap by deciding that you must be the problem. That's how self-doubt is born. Not in one moment, but over years of quiet comparison and invisible effort. You stop asking for more. You stop expecting softness. And somewhere along the way, you start mistaking worth for work. Because when love feels rationed, you begin to believe you have to earn every drop. When love feels uncertain, you start to build strategies, tiny ways to protect yourself from being hurt again. At first, they don't look like protection. They look like personality. Some of us become the overachiever. We learn that the only way to be seen is to be exceptional. We chase every goal like it might finally make us enough. We collect achievements like proof that we deserve to exist, and for a moment when someone notices, it almost feels like love. Some of us become the peacemaker. We keep everyone calm. We stay quiet when we're angry, agreeable when we're hurt. We sense tension before it happens and rush to fix it because peace feels safer than honesty. And some of us become the ghost. We stop trying altogether. We convince ourselves that we don't need attention, that invisibility is easier than rejection. We fade quietly into the background of our own lives. These are called adaptations, survival roles formed to keep us connected. Each one is a different way of saying, if I can't be loved for who I am, maybe I'll be loved for what I do, or what I don't. Over time, those roles stop feeling like choices and start feeling like identity. The overachiever doesn't know how to rest. The peacemaker doesn't know how to say no. The ghost doesn't know how to stay when someone finally sees them. You become fluent in everyone else's emotions, but a stranger to your own. And it works, for a while. You function. You even seem fine, but deep down it's exhausting. Living as a version of yourself that was built to keep someone else comfortable. Because these roles were never your personality. They were your protection. And what once kept you safe now keeps you small. When you grow up as the least favorite, comparison becomes your second language. You don't just watch your sibling, you study them. What makes them easier to love? What do they do that earns smiles instead of sighs? And without meaning to, you start shaping yourself around that question. This is social comparison theory, the natural human habit of defining ourselves through contrast. But when you're a child, comparison isn't analysis, it's identity. You don't think they're different, you think they're better. Even as an adult, it lingers. You scroll through photos of other people's families, see their parents leaving comments full of pride, and feel that same ache you did as a child, the ache of being almost enough. It's strange how envy and guilt can live in the same breath. Because you love your sibling, you'd never wish them less happiness, but a part of you still wonders what it would feel like to be loved like that, effortlessly, openly, without having to earn it. And then you feel guilty for even thinking it, so you bury it deeper and call it acceptance. Psychologists have a name for this: internalized inferiority, When you grow up as the lesser one, your self-worth attaches to how others treat you. If someone chooses you, you feel valuable. If they don't, you disappear inside yourself. And that belief quietly follows you everywhere, at work, in friendships, in love. You keep looking for proof that you're finally someone's favorite. But no matter how much validation you get, it never lasts long, because deep down, you're not competing with the world. You're still competing with the child who was chosen instead of you. That's the hidden cruelty of comparison. It keeps you living inside a contest that ended years ago. And every time you lose, even in your own mind, the wound opens again. The truth is, growing up as the least favorite never really stays in childhood. It echoes, quietly but constantly. You carry it with you, even when you think you've outgrown it. In relationships, it shows up as a kind of hunger, not for love itself, but for reassurance. The need to know that you won't be replaced, that you're finally the one someone chooses first. So you fall for people who give you flashes of affection and long stretches of uncertainty. The inconsistency feels familiar. It feels like home. This is what is called anxious attachment. When love once felt unpredictable, your body learns to chase it. You cling tighter when someone pulls away, mistaking anxiety for connection and calm for distance. Even when they stay, a part of you keeps waiting for them to leave. In friendships, you take on the caretaker role. You're the one who remembers birthdays, who listens, who shows up. You give more than you're asked to, not because you want to, but because you don't know another way to feel worthy. You rarely ask for help. You downplay your pain, and when someone offers support, you almost feel uncomfortable, as if being cared for breaks some unspoken rule. At work, it becomes another stage for earning love. You call it ambition, but underneath it's trauma. You over-deliver, overthink, overextend, because somewhere inside, your nervous system still believes that performance equals belonging. And even when you succeed, the satisfaction fades fast. You minimize your wins before anyone else can. You brush off compliments, tell yourself it's luck or timing or not that big a deal. You find it easier to be proud of others than of yourself, because when you grew up at the bottom of the list, celebrating yourself still feels like taking someone else's spot. That's the hidden cost of favoritism. It trains your nervous system to confuse effort with value. And long after childhood ends, you keep working to prove you deserve a love that should have been unconditional. Healing doesn't start with confronting your parents. It starts with confronting the beliefs you built to survive them. It begins quietly, with the realization that their favoritism was never proof of your lack, but of their limitation. You stop asking, "Why wasn't I enough?" and start asking, "Why did they only know how to love one way?" That shift matters, because once you see their behavior as a reflection of capacity, not worth, you free yourself from the constant need to earn what should have been unconditional. And that's often the hardest part, realizing that love can be real and still be incomplete, that a parent can care for you deeply and still never truly know how to see you. Most parents wouldn't consciously choose to love unevenly. They just love in the only way they know how. It's not fair and it's not easy, but accepting the truth is what begins to unhook the pain from your identity. You start to grieve the love you wanted, instead of endlessly chasing it. It's completely natural to wish they had loved you the same way, to crave the softness, the attention, the equality you saw given so freely elsewhere. That longing is human. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you honest. But sometimes that yearning becomes a loop, a quiet fight with reality. We tell ourselves it shouldn't be this way, that love should be fair, and while that's true, holding on to that fight only deepens the ache, because wishing for a different parent never changes the one you had. So what if, just for a moment, you stop arguing with what is? What if you let yourself face it directly, not as judgment but as truth? Yes, my mother favored my brother. Yes, my father saw me differently. It hurts to say it plainly, but saying it out loud breaks the illusion that love can only heal if it's equal. Sometimes love simply has limits. Psychologists call this process reparenting. It's the act of becoming the parent your younger self needed, offering yourself the validation, consistency, and gentleness you once had to chase. It's noticing when that old panic rises, when someone's silence feels like rejection, and reminding yourself, I'm safe. This isn't then. Healing also means building secure attachment from the inside out. It's teaching your body that calm isn't abandonment, it's peace. That love doesn't have to be dramatic to be real. That you don't have to perform to be chosen. And as you begin to trust that, something softens. You start reaching for people who make you feel safe instead of excited. You begin to let your guard down in small ways, telling the truth about how you feel, saying no without apologizing, asking for what you need without bracing for disappointment. These moments are small, but they're the ones that rebuild you. And you will have days where that feels impossible, where the old voice still whispers, you're the extra one. On those days, your healing isn't about believing otherwise. It's about remembering that the voice isn't yours. It's an echo, a sound from a childhood where love had limits. You can love people who couldn't love you evenly. You can forgive without excusing. You can outgrow what you didn't deserve. Because healing isn't about making them see your worth. It's about finally seeing it yourself. And maybe that starts small. By letting yourself rest without guilt. By celebrating something even when no one else claps. By looking in the mirror and realizing that you no longer have to earn your place. Because you are never too much. You are just never given enough space to be fully seen. You're learning to give that space to yourself. That's what healing really is. Coming home to a version of you that doesn't have to try so hard to be loved.